So guys, I was just indoors editing this video and I realised that this is actually pre the last video you would have seen on the channel. So the garage is still in its old layout. The cars are not how we have arranged them in the last video that you watched. So the few videos that will be next on the channel, I think there's about 3, I actually recorded previous to the last video that you watched. This is confusing. Previous to the last video you watched. So yeah, just bear with me, and after the next 3 videos, they will be back in order of the timeline of when the garage was sorted out moving forward. Hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoy this video. Yeah, we're going to get stuck into it now, and it's going to play in 3, 2, 1. Morning guys, welcome to the first video of doing cars that's going to go out on the channel. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more as we go along. I'm in the van. I've finished what I needed to do this morning for work, which was go and meet up with the lads, give them a scope of works for the day, give them what they're doing. Now I've got a couple of hours to myself, so I'm going to get down the garage. We're going to film a new video. Tom, who features on the channel every now and then, he's crashed his Fiesta ST. Had a bit of an argument with a roundabout, and he's bent a few bits on the front, wishbones, tie rods. Just needs a couple of new front wheels, which I'll show you all the damage when we get down to the garage. So yeah, we're heading down there now. We're going to make ourselves a cup of coffee, and we'll get cracking on sorting out the car and with the rest of the video. See you soon. We're ready. So, this is the car. You've probably seen it before. And yeah, we've got it back here. We've stripped it all off to assess exactly what we need. So now we know exactly what we need. I'll walk you around what he's done. Right, we'll start off with the driver's side. So the wheel was literally, you can see where it's rubbed on there. It was touching here, which obviously leads you to he's bent the steering arm, the inner tie rod. So to get it unloaded on the trailer, it bent right up, and the wheel was literally wedged. You couldn't move it. So I cut it in half, straightened it out, and temporarily welded it back up together just so we could move it, get it off the trailer and get it into the yard. So that's one thing we've got to change. What I didn't realise was that, I don't know if you can see in there, no, it's too dark. You need a special tool to take the inner tie rods out. Now, back last time when I done these, probably talking 10 years ago, the last time I took an inner tie rod out, there was 2 like flats either side. So 2 flats like that, and you could get a spanner on it and undo it. But on these new modern cars, you have to have a special tool that you tighten on it and then use a ratchet to undo it. We didn't have that, so they're both still on. We're gonna have to, I've ordered the tool, just waiting for it to come. It should arrive today, hopefully. Wishbone was bent, crumpled. This side was the worst. You can see it's bent the subframe down a little bit there, but the mounting points was all good for the wishbone. They were straight. Hopefully there should be no issues there. Otherwise, yeah, we're looking at subframe. You can see where it's yanked it and bent it, that hole is slightly ovaled. It's gonna cause a bit of a problem, but I come up with a little solution. So what we're gonna do, instead of unbolting the subframe just for a hole, I've got a nice piece of metal. It's, what's that, 3mm thick steel. Drill the hole now, so that's perfectly central. The bolt fits in there nicely, as you can see. Oh, hold on. As you can see, fits in there nicely. And I'm going to trim this down and essentially bolt it, put it in place like that. Then I'll weld it round and we should have that nice and central. So that should sort that issue. The bolt, I don't know whether that might make the bolt a bit short. I'm not sure. If it does, we'll get a different bolt and we'll stick a longer bolt in. This side, it is the long drive shaft, so it has a mounting point here where it's like split into two separate pieces of the drive shaft with like a, I want to say a CV joint, but it's not a CV joint, I don't think. Could be. We'll go with CV joint. In the middle, rip that totally out, and yeah, that was toast. So replace the drive shaft, which we've got. Hubs and everything survived, which is handy. And obviously a wing. The wing was mangled, big. It actually ripped the wing out. You can see it ripped the wing out of its mounting points here. And I know there's another mounting point behind these windows, which it actually says you on a Ford manual that you can get a spanner in here somehow and undo it, but I'm not sure about that. But we'll give it a go. We ain't got around to that yet. That ripped itself out. So we'll get around to that when we get around to it. Wheels, yeah, as you can tell, no good, battered. So he's gonna need a new set of wheels. Back ones are all right, just the two front ones. In fact, the passenger one ain't too bad. It's just got that on the outside. The rest of it is okay. You can see there's a lot of marks around it. We actually done that loading it onto the trailer. The car, it's got spacers on it, and it was a bit too wide from our trailer. It fitted. Hello, George. Hello, good girl. Yeah, I got killed. Yeah, and it was exact width of my trailer, so we managed to sort of wiggle it on, get it on, and the wheels were literally touching either side of the trailer. Got it strapped up, got it back to the yard. So yeah, we was happy with that. Otherwise, we'd have had to pay for another recovery. Yeah, then the amount starts racking up, doesn't it? Right, so onto the front. The rad pack caught it, went around about, had quite a high curb. It's obviously hit the bottom here in this corner, and it broke the mounting tab there, and it ripped this. What did it do? It ripped on the rad pack. It's got like these little riv nuts from factory, and it literally just pulled them through the plastic. So they was all pulled out the plastic, so there was no way to mount it. So I managed to mount it. Basically, I put a washer back there temporarily, welded a nut to it. I don't know if you can see that just about. I should get a light really, but I can't. Oh, this one. Yeah, so as you can see in there a bit better now. I welded a nut to the back of a washer just temporarily, just to get it back in, because it was actually pushing on this hose. I didn't want to damage the hose, but we did notice last time we was here, the hose has actually got a little split in it there, so that's going to need replacing anyway. I think possibly a time now to upgrade the intercooler, ready for stage 3. I think this car's stage 2 as it is. Tom bought it stage 2, I believe. Well, no, stage 1. He bought it stage 1. It's only stage 1, I think, because obviously stage 2 you'd need an intercooler. Potentially. It's got an exhaust on it. It's got a stainless exhaust on it. It's got an air filter on it, K&N air filter or something like that. So is that stage 1 or is that stage 2? I don't know. But it's about 230 horsepower. roughly. Yeah, so anyway, back to the mountains. So yeah, I managed to put that back temporarily. It's nice and solid, ain't going nowhere, but I'll do a more permanent fix with a new riv nut and a washer, and I'll show you that at a later date when we get it done. Everything else is good on the front. Then we come around to the passenger side. Drive shaft was okay this side, it survived. This side took a little less of a hit. As you can see, that bolt hole is perfectly round. The other one was slightly oval, so we're going to sort of mimic that by welding a plate over the top, and that should sort the problem out. Again, wishbone this side totally bent and pushed the wheel right back. Not so severe, but you can see it has slightly rubbed there. Pushed it back, bent it up, and the tie rod was also slightly bent. I think Tom cut that, just it was easier to get the wishbone out from this bottom mounting point here with that cut, so that's cool. We'll change both of them. This wing didn't actually cop it in the accident. Tom said he lost his head a bit after he got out and saw the damage, and give it a little whack, but it's understandable in the circumstances, I suppose. But he just cost himself more money. Oh, there's Matthew coming in. Say hello. YouTube.
Oh, hello.
I'll take you over to Matt's workshop one day and show you what's going on over there. He's got plenty of motors on the go and whatever. Sorry about that, guys. Matt needed a hand with something, so I had to go and give him a hand. Yeah, right, where was we? Back to this. What I did forget to tell you, driver's side. Side skirt is obviously connected to the wing. So the bottom of the wing got ripped off and ripped the side skirt off. But that's all good. We've got that in the motor, along with the rest of his front bumper and whatever. Front bumper took a bit of an impact, ripped the middle out and ripped his splitter off, but we're gonna stick this one back on for now, just because, just to get him back on the road. That'll be fine, it'll be perfectly fine. So yeah, that's about it really. So I was gonna show you the wishbones, but I'm not actually sure what he's done with them at the minute. If I find them later, I'll show you. So let's get the old camera set up on some time lapse and we'll get the parts in. So here are the parts. We've got the parts in. Got a new driver's wing in colour, which is great. Saves the grief of having to paint it and whatever. That should just bolt up and be ready to go. He did actually get a new steering rack, complete steering rack. So we're going to use these tie rods. I will have a look, see if it is easier to take the rack out and change it. But I've got my suspicions it's not going to be. Obviously you've got to disconnect it from the column and all that. So we'll probably more than likely just use the rod ends just to yeah, get it back steering again. We've got wishbones, new wishbones, passenger and driver side, come with the complete hub, brakes, the lot, and a new driver's side drive shaft. And 4 new wheels. So we'll get them over here. Obviously we've got to take the wishbones apart from the hubs and whatever. We're only using the wishbones out of this lot. So we'll get them taken apart and we'll start having a go at getting them bolted onto the motor. Right, so I've got the driver's wishbone off. We're gonna try and see now if we can get it in its mounting point. So up there like so. Let me put you on the stand there. let's see. So, get this out of the way. That goes in there somehow. Let's get that out. So, put that around that side. Oh, can you still see? Just about. So, I've got a feeling this is a little bit bent inwards, so it's crushing, pinching together, so I can't get this in. There's a little metal pin through that bush, I suppose. So I'm going to have to try and get something, a bar or something, just to try and push that out to make the hole a tiny bit bigger. Right, let's have a look. So let's have a go, see if we can push this out a bit. If it moved or not, I'm not sure. We'll have another go. No, let's take it back out. Let's give this a try with an hammer. Moved. Right, let's see if it's wide enough now. There we go. Right, we're wide enough now. So, we should, in theory, be able to get that through. There we go. And she's home. Right, let's see if we can get the bolts through. So that was that bolt and that was that bolt. So this is the bolt that goes through there. Oh, it goes through from underneath and it's got a captive nut on it. Lovely. So, just go back this way a bit. So that's in, that side. That's good. Not looking like we're going to have any problems with bending. Oh, and that lines up lovely there. So the subframe's definitely not bent other than that little bit that we had to change there. I don't know if you can see a bit better now. Put the light there, that's it. You can see where it's ovaled that bolt hole. I mean, there's quite a lot of thread still left to go in. That's screwed in probably a couple of turns now. So I don't think 2mm plate will make much difference. So that bolt should be good. So what we'll do now is we'll shape up that bit of metal, get that shaped up so it fits in there. We'll get it cleaned up with a grinder and that, and we'll weld that on. So yeah, as you can see guys, I've now shaped that up so that will now perfectly fit. It's up. The bolt will perfectly fit through the hole. Now, as you can see, that will take up the gap in there. So then once that's welded on, it will be perfectly central again, and there'll be no issues with that whatsoever. So we'll crack on, get it cleaned up and get it welded on. So guys, as you can see, I've done the welding. I've welded that little plate on now. Now it goes straight through, nice and straight, nice and tight. And yeah, there's no hole, no movement in that bolt whatsoever now. So we're going to finish off getting this wishbone bolted up, and we'll get it bolted onto the hub as well. There we go. Wishbone up, wishbone in. Let's give that a little tap through to the other side. Oh, get the gun on it. She's tight, she's in. There we go, lovely. So now we're going to get this bolted up and we'll check back in a minute. I'm going to get the other side done off camera. That's just simply bolting on the wishbone, and we'll show you when it's all finished. Just thought I'd do a little cut in there guys. I know I said I was jumping in, I was jumping the gun a bit when I said I was putting the wishbones in. I actually forgot I had to put this drive shaft in. So cracked on, got that done. So it slots into the gearbox up there, and then there's like this little donut joint that which got a bearing on the outside, and it sits within this bracket, slots over the top and holds it there. That's the and then that's the joint, the second CV joint, as I called it earlier in the video, that I was talking about earlier, that actually bust on Tom's one and ripped apart. So yeah, we've got a one drive shaft back in. Now I'm going to jump on, get the wishbones bolted up both sides, get the drive shafts back in the hubs, and then we'll check back in to do the inner tie rods and get them sorted out. On the way there, doing the wishbones, and I heard this almighty rumbling on the roof. It's just started absolutely hammering it down. Have a look at this one. Yeah, it's storming, boys and girls, so the noise in the videos might be a bit bad for a little while. I was just cracking on getting the wishbones on. They're all on now. And then as I was looking at the tie rods, the doorbell went and the tool came to take them off. The inner tie rod tool came to take them off. So I popped home, got that, and now we're going to crack on, get the inner tie rod. So this one's obviously been cut, so we're going to pop that one off. I'm going to cut this one so I can pop that boot off. We'll pop that one off. Then we've got the new steering rack here. I'll pop these boots off either end. Get the tie rods off. Get them installed. I'm not going to do the entire rack. I had a look. It's going to be too much grief. It's easier just to do the two ends. If we keep these exactly how they are, mark up how many threads they go on either side, then tracking theoretically should be bang on, considering as long as it was bang on the car that it came off. So we'll see once they're all bolted up. So we'll crack on, get them done, and check back in a little while. So basically guys, this is how I just did the other side. Oh, let me just grab a light. Right, got this boot off. Just needed a bit of freeing up on here because it was a bit tight. That came off there, but I need to get that one off there first, which I forgot about. Oh, it's all a bit awkward to get to this side actually. It's a bit more difficult. Oh god. God. Got you just sort of propped up in the wing here. Trying to show you. I can't even see the clip. Oh, it's around the back there, that's why I can't see it. It's there, right. Oh, let's get a bigger screwdriver. Does it? Doesn't matter. That's it. So that's the clip off. Then I could pull this off this end. Like that. So we don't need that clip, we'll use a Jubilee clip on there. Right, so then got this little tool here. Don't know if you can see it. It's got this bit where you put a socket into, and that clamps in there. There's teeth this side, teeth that side, and that clamps in and undoes it. So you have to make sure you put it in the right way. And it's just an 1/2 inch socket, so that goes up there like that, and then it's a bit fiddly, a little bit fiddly, but we'll get there. That's it, so that's clamped on there now, sort of. God, this one's tight. The other one just literally just fell off. Oh, it's because it's going on the anti-roll bar there. Oh, I think we could be. No, haven't done it yet. Let's try from down here. Oh, it's a bit fiddly. Keeps coming off this socket here. Ah, gotcha. That's it. Pop her off. Unscrew it. Job's a good one. Right then guys, so we've got the inner tie rods finished off there. We've got the wishbones all bolted back up. We got them all bolted back into the hubs. As you can see, this is the passenger side. That's all in. Drive shaft, which was good on this side, but it's all back in the hub now. Hub's all back, lovely and central-ish looking in the arch, so fingers crossed the subframe isn't bent. Just take you around to show you the other side. Tie rods all in. That new drive shaft, she's all into the gearbox, all back in, lovely into the hub. Still got to do this hub nut up. I haven't done this up yet. That'll be for next time. I'll remember to do that next time. But yeah, so she's all back. Don't know if you can't really tell because the wing ain't on this side, but it's all sitting nice and central again. Ready for the next video where we're going to start bolting on bits and pieces. And yeah, so that's going to be it for this video. I've done enough, I've had enough. I've got to go back, do some bits for work and what have you, and yeah, do some other bits. So that'll be it for this one. We'll crack back on with the Fiesta in the next video, where we'll start bolting on the bumper. We'll get the wing mounted back on, get it back on the floor, fill the gearbox up with some oil. We're actually going to do a service on it as well next time, so we'll show doing the service. Yeah, get her back on the floor and get her driving back out the garage. I'm sure Tom will be chuffed. See you next time, guys. Ta.